The Aquadapt PhilCam or Philippine Cambodia project, an initiative under the International Institute of Rural Reconstruction, seeks to help find inclusive and nature-based climate solutions to issues in small-scale aquaculture.
Aquadapt was designed in order to respond to issues related to the fact that smallholders are usually left out of small-scale aquaculture.
5 locations were selected across the 2 countries representing various ecosystems. The International Institute of Rural Reconstruction, with support from IDRC Canada and the Government of Canada, worked in a consortium mode with regional agencies, universities, and research organizations in both the Philippines and Cambodia.
The consortium really helped us to achieve more than we would have had we done it ourselves.
The production of shellfish, or oysters and mussels, is a 1.5 billion peso industry in the Philippines. Capiz Province is the country's second top producer of shellfish. The bulk of Capiz's oyster and mussel culture is done by smallholder farmers in the coastal waters of Barangay Basiao and the municipality of Ivisan. While other barangays along the coast also farm oysters and mussels, Basiao's oysters are known to be bigger and more plump and thus sought after. In Ivisan, shellfish are typically farmed using stakes. These are bamboo poles pushed into the seabed for baby oysters or mussels, called spats, to settle on. Staking has been the practice for decades, but it has been found to degrade the coastal environment over time as it impedes the free flow of seawater. The stagnating water and resulting heavy siltation make the area conducive to the accumulation of toxins from harmful algae in a phenomenon called red tide.
Sa Ivisan, ilang beses na rin na nagkaroon ng red tide phenomena. May mga cases na parang sunod-sunod na taon, mayroon tayong red tide.
In 2023, Aquadapt introduced 3 technologies in Ivisan as alternatives to bamboo stakes. These are the raft and tray methods for oyster culture and long line method for mussel culture. All 3 methods are off-bottom systems with spat containers suspended from a floating platform or line. No part of the raft, tray, or long line touches the seabed. The shellfish thus grow in cleaner water, away from the muddy seabed and bottom predators. Oysters and mussels grown using these methods are often better shaped, have higher meat yield, and better quality. Russell and Larry Barrios, a couple from Barangay Basiao, gave the raft method a try. They had a bountiful first harvest, but the second batch did not do so well due to intense summer heat and a proliferation of black mussels. For their 3rd season, they set their spats in the water in January, when the weather was cooler. What makes them continue to use the raft method?
Binabantayan namin yung bagyo kung ilang
malakas.
signal na, kung mag-signal number 5, kinukuha namin yung drum at saka pinapatakas.
Using the old stake method, Mrs. Renita Valbares normally waits 10 to 12 months to harvest. With the tray method, Renita says she can harvest in just 4 to 6 months.
Yung sa tray po naman, yung maliliit po na hina-harvest namin, yun na po yung nilalagay namin doon sa tray. Kaya mas mabilis po siyang lumaki kaysa doon sa pinapatubuan naming oyster na maliliit.
Renita has also started using the long line method for growing mussels, not least of all for its portability during extreme weather. Fortunato and Lizelle Olisco from Barangay Codian cite the same advantage.
Ang kagandahan po ng long line, yung method, kasi pag may mga calamity pala, sir, madali mo siyang mahila. Madali mo siyang makuha dun sa dagat kasi ihilahin.
According to Renita, Many shellfish farmers in her barangay are interested in using the tray and longline methods, but are hindered by the initial investment needed for the equipment. The local government of Ivisan, however, is committed to help in this respect.
Nagbigay ako ng intent, no, sa IIR to partner with you. Handa kami ng konting pondo, no.
Ivisan is also a producer of dried fish. A big player in the town's fish drying industry is the Bashao Fish Processors Association, a group of women, some of whom are also involved in oyster and mussel farming. The IIRR donated 6 drying equipment units and 3 vacuum sealers to the BFPA, which greatly helped make the fish drying process and packaging more hygienic and efficient.
Yung pagtulo ng tubig, mabilis. Yung sa 11RR, kaya ng isang tao kasi ikaw lang magbuhat na isa pwede mong ilapag.
Because drying went faster on the IIRR dryers, the women had more time for their families and household chores. Some used the time saved to process more fish. Women inevitably pull the oars and largely determine the direction of an enterprise. Family well-being is always their top consideration, thus, they care deeply about safe and sustainable solutions. While Ivisan's shellfish and dried fish production take place along the coast, there are fish pond farmers inland that also need support. Mr. Simeon Oxeno lives with his daughter and her family in Barangay Cabugao, where they raise tilapia in fish ponds. To support the growth of fingerlings which Aquadapt provided, Simeon tried Aquadapt's veggie shade method, planting sitaw, patola, upo, okra, and kadyos around the pond.
Malaki po na itulong ng mga tanim na ilagay namin po doon sa taas ng tilapiahan. Kasi po yung tilapia po, parang makikita mo po siya, ang bilis niya po magkaroon ng similya, ang bilis niya po lumaki. Tapos yung tanim po nakakatulong pa po sa amin kung paano po magkaroon kami ng gulay, nakakabenta na din po kami.
The tilapia they raised grew so well and so fast that they were able to sell 50 kilograms, exchange 10 kilograms for rice, and donate a few kilograms to a fish convention and a smoked fish workshop. They have also sold hundreds of fingerlings, as well as given some away to friends and neighbors. In Barangay Agmalobo, farmer technician Mr. Isayas Katubuhan also uses veggie shade and aqua shade over his fish ponds where he grows tilapia. These two technologies are being compared to a no-shade pond all on his farm.
Sa aquashade ay madali po silang lumaki. Mabilis po na magkaroon sila ng mga fingerlings. Kumpara doon sa mga pulang shade, ang tilapia po ay nababansot.
Tilapia also thrives when raised together with rice. In Barangay Santa Cruz, Mr. Rufo Once, upon Aquadapt's recommendation, gave rice fish culture a try. It did not take much to convince him, and he now even advocates for it.
Maliban sa may isda ka na, makakatulong pa sa palayan. Ang tilapia, pwede siyang kumain ng mga piste at saka yung ipot niya, abono pa sa palay.
Mr. Cresildo Villar owns one of the larger fish ponds in Barangay Bashao. In his half-hectare pond of brackish water, he put bangus, or milkfish, tilapia, and prawns together in a technique called polyculture.
Nakaharvest mo kami sa bangos ng 400 kilos na bangos, saka 10 kilos na sugpo, saka yung tilapia na 5 kilos.
While Cresildo was pleased with the bangus and prawn harvests, he attributes the poor tilapia outcome to heat and high salinity. The size of his pond places most of it in sunshine, and a broken dike in the neighboring pond sent salt water from the nearby coast into his pond. Despite these issues, he sees polyculture as a promising venture. Ivisan's coastline is lined in large swaths by mangrove. The mangrove is so extensive that it is not measured by meters or kilometers, but in hectares. Some residents along the coast believe that if the mangrove had been this extensive and lush in 2013 when Typhoon Yolanda hit, the devastation may not have been as bad. This is part of the messaging used by Mr. Jose Ricky Remigio to convince people to support efforts to protect the mangrove. Cap Ricky, the barangay captain of Cudian, where the mangrove is located, is part of a multi-stakeholder initiative that designated 3 hectares out of the 22-hectare mangrove as a fish conservation zone or FCZ. Residents of Isla Baluarte adjacent to the FCZ were given various training activities to capacitate them as stewards of the conservation zone.
Binigyan po namin ng capacity ang mga fisher folks po on how to recover and how to manage and protect the existing mangrove areas. Nagkakaroon po sila ng scheme on how to do the Bantay Bakhawan program kung saan pinoprotektahan po at nag-guard po sila sa existing mangrove areas.
The state of the Ivisan mangroves is tied to the continued productivity of the town's coastal aquaculture. Harold and his team at Capiz State University did a study that confirms this correlation. As climate change makes extreme weather events more destructive and unpredictable, the residents of Ivisan are also now more aware that preserving the mangrove protects not just their livelihoods, but their lives as well.
After Yolanda, ito talagang tinamaan ng bagyo na yon. Dati wala kang makikita dito na puno. Sa ngayon nga, marami ng bagyong dumaan na naging safe na sila. Hindi na sila sa balutan para mag-evacuate pa. No?
All of these aquadapt interventions were worked out from concept to implementation in close consultation with local government partners.
Malaking na bumaba yung poverty incident ng Ivisan. So maraming factors pero isa dyan na I do believe sa IRR. The LGU is planning to continue and to sustain that program na binigay ng IRR. So in terms of funding, mabibigyan natin sila ng mga livelihood, pambili ng mga material sila na kinakailangan nila. So that's the commitment of the LGU.
Kami na ang naiwang NGO dito, particularly in Ivisan. I think yung strong partnership with the LGU, not only sa municipal level, but sa barangay level, especially sa community.
Kung mayroong isang wish ako to Aquadapt, sana matuloy siya as magkaroon kami ng finished product na ito yung nakakaning na tahong, nakakaning na talaba, naka-smoke fish na pantat, naka-smoke fish or naka-fillet na galing talaga dito sa barangay namin. Kumbaga, hindi lang sa fresh tayo kikita. Sana yung meron kaming processing zone.
Because of the sheer size of the shellfish industry in Ivisan, the adoption of nature-based and sustainable alternatives is crucial to ensure that the livelihoods of its residents will thrive for a long time. As more and more fisher folk adopt Aquadapt recommended technologies, more of them will see how these interventions will further improve the quality of Ivisan's oysters, mussels, and fish, preserve the environment that makes their livelihoods possible, and sustain, even enrich, their way of life.